So a key moment that stood out to us was when a student asked what shape she should make, and I said, "Oh, how about a triangle?" And then she looked at me and she said, "No, that's too easy." And then another student said, "Oh look, I made a star." We thought this stood out because it showed the positive mindset that students have towards coding and how they actively seek out challenges, which we felt directly related to agency. They were taking pride in their work and ownership over it and wanted to share their success with us and their peers.
The next key moment was when we were circulating and one student said, "I don't know how to do it." This moment allowed us to teach the students some strategies of how to persevere and solve problems on their own as well as with their peers. One strategy was reusing and remixing, which in this case could be done through changing the side length or the number of sides in the code. Another strategy was writing it down on paper to better visualize what the code was doing. We thought that this also related well to preparing problems for computational solutions since it involved breaking down the code and looking at it.
The last key moment had to do with testing and debugging. One student was struggling with trying to figure out why the code wasn't working, and she had been working with someone else before calling me over. So I went over and tried to help as well, but I couldn't figure it out, so then I called Abby over. And then we were all looking at it together and went through some of the different testing and debugging strategies. We first tried reading through each part of the code individually, and then broke it down to test the code in individual parts. This highlighted how working together and communication are important. Not only did we have to communicate with the student, but she also had to communicate with us to tell us what she wanted her program to do so that we would be able to help her.
The thing about the coding was they could do something, and if they made the mistake, it wasn't like it wasn't a big deal because they could go back and try something different and have a different result. If that didn't work, they go back and try something different, and then there's a different result. So it was kind of like like an environment or like of high risk and low fear. Like take some chances.
Yes, for sure. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, high risk, low fear. Take some chances. If you're wrong, so what? You're wrong. You can go back and correct it right away, or you can. It's like trial and error.
And it built up there. Like you saw different kids actually really like who are more reserved kind of get that little bit more confidence, and that was good to see. It was good to see like peers stepped up a bit more to say, "Oh, don't forget to do this," and they were able to help them. So a lot, and there were some surprising ones that came out that normally are more sit back and are passengers and aren't that involved. It was more so that they were very into it and trying different things. So that was good. We also saw that they were kind of proud of things that they were able to discover. Like they let them say, "See what you can do by changing this number. And what does that do? See the sort of like cause and effect." And they were kind of proud showing off to members because they were sitting in groups at the time. Like we saw a lot of turning the screens around to show, look what this one did when I did this. So they were not only showing them but also to their peers, and they were proud. Like we don't see I don't see an awful lot lately in teaching where kids are proud of their work, and then you could see actually the pride. Like like even in like we see them in hit and miss when their artwork when something turns out really nice, but this it was like, okay, see what I've done.